Hey everyone, Moo here, and this is my rogue, Yofer the Fabulous. Despite his fabulous nature, we have never done a Mythic Plus on this character. This video series is going to be dedicated to learning Mythic Plus and seeing how far we can push Yofer in Season 1 of Dragonflight. Without further ado, let's begin. So this was our first run of the week. We did a Ruby Life Pools, number 2, and it was a little scuffed. So I didn't realize that I was recording my entire screen, so that's why you see the Epic Game Store pop up in the lower right. And I'd never done a Mythic Plus in a row before. I also forgot to record after the first one. This was an extremely quick dungeon. Everybody in this group but me was in a bonus Valor. They were all 2,000 plus rated, so just kind of vibing. This is the first pool after the first boss. These mobs kind of a pain in the ass, not as bad as one and second, third though. Again, +2. Not a lot to talk about here. So this run being what it is, we're just gonna cut to the end of the dungeon, show the last boss, and then move on to our next run. And here we are, last boss of the dungeon. As you can expect, really easy, went really well. One thing I would have liked to done better is I didn't know that you should be targeting the dragon most of the time, so it took me a second there to get on the dragon until I saw what the Demon Hunter was doing. You'll see this again next week. This week I already ran my first dungeon of the week, and we messed that up too. But again, +2. Don't really matter. We went through it really fast. The next dungeon's kind of ramped up in difficulty. We managed to, I believe, +3 this one, and then our next dungeon is going to be a +5 Halls of Valor. Things really didn't get interesting this week until like Monday. I ran all these. I think this was on a Thursday that I was playing, and we managed to find some really good groups really easily, and things went relatively smoothly. But it came to a screeching halt on Monday. So let's go to the next dungeon. Alright, this is our +5 Halls of Valor. I'm not going to show all of this dungeon either. It's just not very interesting watching somebody stumble their way through a +5. So I'm not going to commentate on it a lot. We're not going to fixate on it too much. We're just going to basically watch Heimdall and Odin. One thing I will say about this dungeon is I've seen a couple different routes. I don't know the best route on it. I haven't done a lot of research just yet. I'm obviously not playing a tank, but I've had a couple different experiences in here. You're going to see a couple more in this video, and the next video I've already done 2 this week. So it's a bit of a mess. But my biggest question to y'all, if you can in the comments, let me know. Should you do Fenrir second or Fenrir third better route? I've seen groups do it both ways. I've timed +11s both ways, but I'm not sure at the very high level if it matters or which way is better. So cut right from Fenrir, or right from Heimdall rather, to Odin, and here we are doing the last boss. Super easy, super smooth. We have 4 deaths, not a big deal. This +5 is gonna, I think it 2-chest it. Yeah, 2-chest it because we'll go to a +7 next. And not a whole lot to say about it. So far, at this point in it, I wasn't really enjoying Mythic Plus. I wasn't seeing much of a challenge. I was just not really enjoying it, to be honest. But I will say, later on, when it got to the +10s, when things got a little more difficult and we had to start thinking a little bit more and mechanics became unforgiving, I started to understand the appeal of this and totally got engrossed by it. And I didn't even PvP last week. So some of my background is I've been strictly PvPer for a number of years. I haven't really spent a lot of time. Right here, I don't know my directions clearly. I fucked this up bad. If it was a higher key level, I would have been so dead. But yeah, normally strictly PvPer, healer, main, and I didn't PvP a single game last week or this week so far. Instead, I've just been pushing Mythic Plus and really enjoying it. I actually look forward to leveling another character to do this again in a different role. But there we are. So Halls of Valor +5 out of the way, and we can move on to our +7 Nokon offensive. Nokon, I don't know how to say that. And we are in the, I googled it, so because the last time I recorded I didn't know how to pronounce this. I'm gonna call it no good. This dungeon's no good. Anyways, we're in the no good offensive number +7. And we are going to enjoy ourselves. I'm going to cut through most of this again. Here we are, the last boss. Things didn't get interesting in this dungeon until the last boss. We're 8% short. We need more trash. So we go through the last boss, clear the last boss. Nothing really eventful happened. And then we move on to cleaning up some trash, and that's when things get a little more scuffed than I ever imagined they could be in a +7. I will say, at this point, I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying Mythic Plus, really enjoying looking at my class. I'm absolutely pumping. My damage, I don't think it's that respectable versus where I should be necessarily, but I've been out damaging this group pretty consistently, which probably is a red flag, if we're being completely honest, but alas, here we are, pumping damage into Mr. Khan here. One thing I'd be curious about, and again in the comments, let me know if you know the answer to this. I know of a good add-on to track pathing, or do you know of a good resource besides Raver.io to track or to learn ideal pathings, percentages and pulls and so on? Because this seems to be something the community struggles with in pugs. I think my next character I would like to play is I'd like to go back to playing the tank. I've played a tank in the past and I think that would be fun to do again, but I'd really like to learn pathing. So if you know any resources that are helpful there, please drop them in the comments, let me know, and we'll see if it gets better in the future pugs. This boss fight, God, it just dragged. I'm doing the most damage by a pretty significant margin right here. And this balance true at times was getting out DPS by the tank. I think at the end of the recap he actually did less total damage than the tank, and then the Demon Hunter wasn't much better. I will say that Guardian Druid seems to pump. I don't know if that is factual necessarily, but the couple I've seen have done a lot of damage. I think there's one instance where I actually get out damaged by one myself. I'm not sure if that was this dungeon or another. It wasn't this dungeon, but not this run rather, but I'm not sure if it was in this dungeon, if it was in Hall of Valor, but there was a run where I got top DPS. And here we are thinking everything's gravy and then being like, what the fuck? We need more percentage. What are we doing with our lives? Me looking at my achievements, and then he says 92%. Nice. So here we go. I don't even know what he's doing right now, so he's running towards a path.
He will not take a place
There we go.
of honor with the ancestor Khans.
So he's running towards that pack. We're going to clear this pack. I think we actually die here. Things got really scuffed really quickly. I don't know. I have no rhyme or reason, no explanation why things got as scuffed as they did, but goddamn, they got scuffed. Oh, there's my healer. He's gonna die. I got fear into another pack. I got fear into another pack. My healer's not quite dead yet, but all in all, a messy in the dungeon. The run before this was rather smooth, but yeah, it is what it is. It just goes to show that sometimes things do not go right for you. The next dungeon we're going to do is going to be a +9. We still managed to 2-chest this despite how scuffed this has been, despite underpulling. It was kind of a shame because it could have been a 3-chest really easily if we would have just pulled one more pack or 2 more packs and not wiped here, but didn't happen. So coulda, shoulda, woulda. At the end of the day, it doesn't really affect much. It is what it is. And I'm going to cut it here and go to the next dungeon. And here we are, Shadow Moon Burial Grounds +9. I really enjoyed this one. So this is a dungeon that I really enjoyed when it first came out back in WoD. I thought it was a really well designed dungeon, really fun. I didn't do challenge modes in Draenor. I didn't play a lot in Draenor at all, but I'm glad that this dungeon was featured because it's a really fun dungeon. It's pretty easy, it's pretty straightforward, it is a lot of fun. I'm going to skip 99% of this dungeon. We're just going to go straight to Ner'zhul, show the last boss, and get out of here, because if you play Mythic Plus, I don't need to tell you how easy this dungeon is, how smooth most runs tend to go. We have 18 minutes left while we're headed into Ner'zhul. This is a good run. I didn't get top DPS by a long margin. This Ret Paladin and 100 both outperformed me, which I think is a good sign. So I don't think I should be the top damage overall. maybe combat rogues like should be if they're good, but I don't feel like I know what I'm doing yet. I'm not comfortable. I've barely been playing a week. Like, I come from PvP, I haven't been playing combat, I've been playing assassination, so learning a new spec, jumping right into Mythic Plus, there's no way I should be the highest performing damage dealer. So it was really nice to see a group that did outperform me, in a group where things went really smoothly. Their Zul's already really low. We're going to blast through this and then move on to another dungeon. And after this is where things get scuffed as hell for the week. Things went to hell in a handbasket real quickly after this one, and we will see that here shortly. But for now, Nerzul's about to die, and right there, Nerzul is dead. Our +9 done, 3 chested that, and on to our next key. Alright, this is our Halls of Valor +12 after the successful +9. We haven't really had a bad dungeon yet, and we're about to. We're about to be introduced to the reality of pugging on a Monday night real quickly. This is just bad. This was so stressful and depressing. Most of this group had, all this group had higher IO than I did. The tank was over 2k, and his healer buddy had no rating whatsoever. But I decided to take him anyway because it was a 2k IO tank, and we needed, like, we had a pretty good group composition. So, yeah. But I'm only going to show like 30 seconds of this dungeon. I die right here. We end up having about 12 deaths after Heimdall, and the mage just AFKs. So once the mage AFKs, people start leaving, and it scuffs the queue. So yeah, there's no point even showing the rest of this. This dungeon is donezo, and we move on to the next. So after failing it, I didn't know how if you could re-roll to like a different dungeon, so I downgraded my key from 11 to a 10, and of course you guys know that that's not how that works. So we got into a 10 Hall of Valor. I was really discouraged, but I did learn something really important. I'm not going to show a lot of this dungeon either because I feel like that's all we've done is show Hall of Valor, so I'm just going to go 2 times speed. We're going to zoom through this 10. We end up 2-chesting it. It was a very successful run, but one thing I learned is that even if things go to hell and you get a lot of deaths, you can still get a good time. We have, how many kill deaths do we have here? Like, I believe it says 19. It was a lot. And we went through Odin like no problem. We were able to salvage the run, and yeah, we did it. We got a +12. The +12 is going to be the last dungeon that I show on this video, because we did 2 more dungeons, but they were, again, they were just scuffed, messy, frustrating Monday night pugs. So I'm not really going to show those. I'm going to jump straight to the vault opening after we show our next dungeon. So that's going to be it for this one. Here's Odin dying again, and then we'll get into our +12. Here we are back in No Good Offensive, this time a +12, and I wanted to show this boss, because this boss is amazing. I love the way this boss is designed, I love everything about this boss, so I just thought I would clip this up this section while we're talking about this run and kind of how it went, because I didn't play the best, I didn't play perfect. You're going to see me make a couple mistakes, make a mistake and even die, but God was it fun. It was such a fun boss. I think every time I play this boss I really enjoy it. I think it's a really cool fight. I think it has a lot of the things that make me a fan of Shadowman Burial Grounds in it. Just a lot of movement, you have to move around a lot. And yeah, does it suck sometimes? Absolutely. Does it cost you some DPS sometimes? Yes. Should have gone for that orb? Probably not. But there's a lot of improvement. Like, you can see ways to improve really easily. And here I die and we get a battle res on first the tank, because I died because the tank died. So tank gets battle res, tank battle reses me, we continue on in the fight. I ran another dungeon with this tank and he turned into a bit of a toxic asshole, so I probably won't be running with him again, but this run went really, really smooth. It was a good time. And yeah, this boss is so fucking fun. I hope that I managed to hit Keystone Master here in a couple weeks. My goal, I don't really have one as far as the timeline goes. I would like to be finished here in a couple weeks. the Keystone Master on this character. Maybe even get some plus 25s or plus 20s and get to 2,500. Get every achievement we can. Yeah, just see how far we can push it, see how far we get Mythic Plus. I do think Mythic Plus is now my preferred way to play WoW, and if you had told me a couple of years ago that I would prefer PvE over PvP in WoW and that arenas were no longer going to be my favorite thing to do, I would laugh at you, because arenas have always been my favorite thing to do since the Burning Crusade. But here we are, 31 years old, trying something new, enjoying doing Mythic Plus, enjoying the boss fights. Yeah, just enjoying the game. If you guys, again, have any feedback, suggestions, anything like that on this video, if you'd like me to edit it differently, if you want more memes, if you want me just to be more of an idiot and not just talk mindlessly over these clips, let me know. I'm going to show my vault opening after this boss goes down, and then we'll kind of treat that as the outro and prepare for the next video in this series. I'm going to try to do these every week, and we'll see where it goes. Thank you guys for watching so much, and you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube at moo_SSB. Thank you guys so much. If you made it this far, you're my hero, and I appreciate you greatly.